Hey guys, so here's my self-assessment slash reflection for the semester. Alright. So first off, I was born on May 17th, 1999. I'm originally from Greenville, South Carolina. I moved there when I was 2. Even though I was born in, or even though I was born in Gastonia, North Carolina, but basically spent my whole life in Greenville. Currently, I'm a sophomore at App, but at Christmas I will be a junior, so I'm a little ahead of the game. And right now, I'm majoring in nutrition and foods, and that probably will not change. But I also have a concentration in food systems management along with a general business minor. And then I have a huge passion for cooking and baking. I've mentioned that before. And to the right of my screen, at least, there's some cookies I bake. It's like my favorite cookie recipe with oats in it. And my family likes to make these little things called apple nachos. So basically, it's sliced apples with a bunch of types of candy on it and chocolate, and it's really good. So for the self-assessment, I looked at my Big Five results. I took the test and compared it to another person I know, one of my friends, and basically it said, like I wasn't very open-minded. I'm fairly conscientious, and I really like to be social. And then I'm in the middle for emotion and agreeableness. And honestly, I didn't really agree with the results. I thought it was cool how you could kind of get results based on the questions, but I really didn't agree with it. Mainly, I didn't really agree with the emotionality or the agreeableness. Um, I don't really say that I'm not forgiving or not irritable most of the time. I feel like I'm fairly forgiving. And also, I didn't really understand how I ended up being, I'm not nervous nor calm. I don't really get nervous. So I don't know. I didn't really agree with the results. But, and also open-mindedness kind of bothered me because I try to be open-minded and positive and, consider all my options and not jump to a conclusion. So, yeah, I didn't really agree with the test, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay. So for perception, how I view myself, I typically see myself as outgoing. I'm very hardworking. I try to do my best in school, and I'm very determined to get whatever I need done, completed. I'm kind of like that in a lot of ways, not just school. My parents, I guess, kind of taught me that. If you put your mind to something, you can succeed, and you can at least do your best and try to complete something. I consider myself to be a kind person and a good listener. I try, if my friends have issues, or even if my family has an issue or something, I'll try to at least listen or talk to them about it and just be open to them, no matter what it may be. And then most of the time, I'm very motivated. Kind of goes along with setting your mind to something. So I'm very motivated to accomplish things. That's how I view myself. And then how others view me. These are some things people have told me. I don't really believe them sometimes. I don't know. But some people have told me I'm smart and organized, driven, athletic, personable, respectful. I guess the one I don't really agree with is smart. I don't really consider myself to be very, very smart. Really, all I have is common sense. That's about it. But I do also agree that I am athletic. I love to play sports, and I'm a huge tennis player, so I'm very into that. Okay, so for life experiences, I've held various jobs. I guess the first job I really held was the sports club tennis camp instructor. It was great. It was a good job, but at the same time, I felt like it was glorified babysitting. So I was basically teaching children how to play, but sometimes it was hard to keep their attention. So that's why I said I definitely learned how to have patience. I had to be creative and think on my feet because once they got bored with something, I had to immediately think of something else to quickly gain their interest back. And then ultimately just to relax. It's meant to be fun, and at the same time, you have to keep in mind when you're teaching kids how to play tennis, it's not about um, really making them like superstars at tennis. You have to keep in mind that they're little, they're young, they just want to have fun, they want to run around like crazy. So it was definitely a good job to have. And then I worked at Edible Arrangements a little bit. Not a ton. I just kind of helped during the holidays some, but that was actually a really fun job. I really enjoyed that one because we were part of a team and it was really quick paced. Everybody was on a station, and it's kind of funny because now I know how to make those like flower arrangements with the fruit, so can save myself a little bit of money. And I won't have to pay as much for those. But it definitely taught me how to work efficiently but quickly and complete everything that needed to be done. And then the job that I've held down the longest is definitely the Blue Porch Kitchen and Market, along with Perks Catering. My boss actually owns both of those, and for a while at the restaurant, I was a waitress and I baked all of the desserts for them. She gave me an opportunity to just have all the desserts. If any ladies or anybody for that matter wanted special orders, I would complete them and make a little bit of commission off of it. So I definitely did well with that, and I enjoyed that. I love baking, so it was a fun job. And also with Perks Catering, there were various jobs. A lot of the time I'd have to help with caterings and set them up and just have them ready because she actually has a huge catering business. So I definitely had to help with that, but also just like help out in the kitchen and be available and sometimes even go to these caterings to complete things. So I definitely, through both those jobs, I learned how to really communicate, have some people skills, organize, and working with the public. So my plan development, some of my strengths, I feel like I'm a hard worker and I do exactly what is expected of me. I hope that majority of the managers I've had, I hope they can see that in me. And then I try to be helpful and communicate effectively. Even though I may not always do the best job at that, I try my hardest. And some of my improvements, sometimes I am very impatient, and my family will be the first to tell you that. So I definitely need to work on that and understanding others and where they're coming from, and then stay calm. Sometimes in the restaurant, I would get a little like worked up over some customers, or I would get overwhelmed, and sometimes I would just have to stop and take a minute and then like keep doing what I'm doing. And at the same time, not being afraid to ask for help. So in conclusion, some things I took away from the class, I didn't realize how much went into being a manager, so I definitely learned more about that and what it takes to open a restaurant. And I knew there was a lot, like I knew managers had specific tasks, but I never really knew how much was expected out of them. And a manager can really make or break a business. I see that now. So I thought that was really cool to learn about. And then the main helpful activities that I thought were good and I learned something from it, even though I didn't agree with the Big Five submission, I thought it was cool to kind of learn where you fit on a scale of your personality. I don't know. I thought it was interesting, even though I didn't necessarily agree with my results. And then I really enjoyed the manager leader interview. I felt like you really got like an insight of what it is to really be a manager, and I really enjoyed that, especially when me and my partner interviewed the Basil's manager. So I really liked that one a lot. And that is it. Thanks for listening to me. So yeah.